Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin by saying this: the conversation you have with yourself is the most important dialogue of your life. It's not what others say to you, it's not the world around you, but what you whisper to your own soul that determines the life you live. The words you speak to yourself, whether consciously or unconsciously, act as the blueprint for your reality. Every thought you entertain and every sentence you repeat internally becomes a building block of your self-perception, influencing how you show up in the world. This isn't just a motivational idea, it's a principle rooted in psychology and human behavior. What you say to yourself, you believe, and what you believe, you act upon. And over time, those actions shape your life. Think about it for a moment. How often do you catch yourself engaging in negative self-talk? Phrases like, "I'm not good enough, I'll never figure this out," or "I always mess things up." These words might seem harmless in the moment, but they're not. They plant seeds of doubt, fear, and limitation in your mind. And here's the truth: your mind doesn't filter out what's true or false. It simply absorbs and reinforces what you feed it. If you constantly tell yourself you're incapable, your subconscious will look for evidence to prove it, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. But here's the good news: the opposite is also true. When you consciously choose to speak to yourself in a positive, empowering way, you can rewrite your narrative. By saying, "I am capable, I can learn," or "I am worthy," you're planting seeds of growth, confidence, and possibility. Over time, these affirmations become your truth. Your mind starts to look for evidence to support your positive self-talk, and suddenly opportunities seem clearer, solutions become more accessible, and your energy aligns with the success you seek. This shift in self-talk is not just about motivation, it's about taking control of your internal dialogue. It's about recognizing that your thoughts are not random, they are patterns that you can shape and influence. Imagine if you spoke to yourself as you would to a close friend who's going through a tough time. Would you say, "You'll never make it"? Of course not. You'd say, "You've got this, you're stronger than you think." Now imagine offering yourself that same kindness and encouragement every single day. One of the most powerful exercises you can do is to become aware of your self-talk and actively reframe it. When you catch yourself thinking, "I can't do this," pause and rephrase it to, "I'm learning how to do this." If you're tempted to say, "I always fail," replace it with, "I'm improving every day." These small changes may seem insignificant, but over time, they create a monumental shift in how you view yourself and your potential. The way you speak to yourself is like a lens through which you see the world. If that lens is cloudy with negativity, everything looks dim. But if you polish it with words of encouragement and belief, the world becomes brighter and your path forward becomes clearer. So, choose your words carefully, because the dialogue you have with yourself today is shaping the reality you will live tomorrow. Changing the way you talk to yourself is not just a superficial exercise, it's a transformative process that directly impacts your attitude and ultimately the results you achieve in life. Your inner dialogue sets the tone for how you perceive challenges, opportunities, and even your own potential. The truth is, we all carry an internal narrative, stories we tell ourselves about who we are, what we can do, and what the world is like. If that narrative is negative or limiting, it becomes a barrier to progress. But when we choose to shift our self-talk, we unlock new levels of resilience, creativity, and success. Think of your mind as a computer, and your self-talk as the programming. If you input faulty code, negative, self-defeating thoughts, the system will produce errors. You'll hesitate when opportunities arise, shy away from challenges, and settle for less than you're capable of. But if you rewrite that code with empowering, positive statements, the system starts to operate smoothly. You approach situations with confidence, embrace challenges as growth opportunities, and set higher standards for yourself. This shift in self-talk starts with awareness. Many people go through life unaware of the harmful things they say to themselves daily. "I'm not smart enough for this," "I always mess things up," "This is just too hard for me." These statements might seem trivial in the moment, but they accumulate and shape your mindset over time. The first step is catching yourself in the act. When you notice a negative thought creeping in, pause. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me or holding me back? Then consciously choose to reframe it. For example, instead of saying, "I can't do this," try, "I haven't figured it out yet, but I will." Instead of, "I always fail," shift to, "Every failure is a step toward success." These changes might feel awkward at first, but like any skill, positive self-talk improves with practice. Over time, this new way of thinking becomes second nature, and the results begin to show. When you change how you speak to yourself, something remarkable happens. Your attitude shifts. You start to approach challenges with curiosity instead of fear. You view setbacks as lessons rather than proof of inadequacy. You stop avoiding opportunities because you believe in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. This positive attitude creates a ripple effect. People notice your confidence and respond in kind. Doors that once seemed closed begin to open. And here's the most important part: when your attitude changes, so do your actions. You begin to take bolder steps, try new approaches, and persevere longer. These actions naturally lead to better results. It's not magic, it's a direct consequence of rewiring your thoughts and beliefs. In life, results are often a reflection of what you believe is possible. By changing your self-talk, you change those beliefs, and when your beliefs shift, your world begins to change with them. It all starts with the words you choose to say to yourself every day. Commitment to empowering and uplifting self-talk is not always easy. It requires deliberate effort, especially when life throws challenges your way or when negativity feels like the more natural response. However, this commitment is essential because your thoughts are the foundation of your confidence, your decisions, and ultimately your success. The journey to rewiring your self-talk may feel uncomfortable at first, but that discomfort is a signal of growth, much like stretching a muscle that hasn't been used in a while. Why is it uncomfortable? Because for many of us, negative self-talk has become a habit. It's familiar, and the brain often defaults to what it knows. Phrases like, "I'm not good enough, I'll never succeed," or "this is just who I am," may have replayed in your mind for years. These thoughts, while limiting, feel safe because they align with a deeply ingrained narrative. Breaking free from them means stepping into the unknown and challenging a core part of how you see yourself. The key is to recognize that discomfort is part of the process. It's a sign that you're disrupting the old, unproductive patterns and creating space for something new and empowering to take root. Imagine training for a marathon after years of inactivity. The first few runs will feel difficult, even painful. But with persistence, you build endurance, and what once seemed impossible becomes second nature. The same principle applies to your mental fitness. Start by becoming intentional about your thoughts. Commit to speaking to yourself with the same kindness and encouragement you would offer a friend or loved one. When you catch yourself engaging in self-criticism, pause and reframe it. For example, instead of saying, "I'll never figure this out," shift to, "I'm learning. And every step brings me closer to understanding." This isn't about ignoring reality or pretending challenges don't exist. It's about focusing on your ability to grow and adapt in the face of those challenges. There will be moments when uplifting self-talk feels forced or insincere, particularly during tough times. That's normal. The goal isn't to feel instantly better, but to plant seeds of positivity and self-belief. Over time, those seeds will take root, and the shift will become genuine. Think of it like rewiring a circuit at first. The connections may feel shaky, but with consistent effort, they strengthen and become reliable. It's also important to practice gratitude and celebrate small wins along the way. Empowering self-talk isn't just about countering the negative, it's about reinforcing the positive. Acknowledge your progress, no matter how small. "I handled that situation well today. I'm proud of myself for trying something new." These affirmations build momentum and reinforce your commitment to uplifting thoughts. The truth is, the way you speak to yourself sets the tone for how you face the world. By committing to empowering self-talk, even when it's uncomfortable, you're training your mind to see possibilities instead of limitations, solutions instead of problems, and hope instead of despair. Over time, this commitment will not only transform how you think, but also how you act, and ultimately the results you achieve in your life. It's a decision to believe in your worth and potential, even when it feels difficult. And that decision changes everything. Consistency is one of the most powerful forces in life. When applied even over a short period, such as 3 days, it can set the stage for profound and lasting change. Many people underestimate the impact of small, consistent actions, especially when it comes to something as personal and internal as self-talk. But the truth is, the words you repeat to yourself day after day act like seeds. They may not bloom overnight, but with time and care, they grow into the foundation of your beliefs, your mindset, and your reality. Think about this: if you spent 3 days focused on positive, empowering self-talk, the immediate changes might seem subtle. You might feel a slight lift in your mood, a spark of motivation, or a glimmer of confidence. But beneath the surface, something much deeper is happening. You're disrupting old patterns of negativity and creating new neural pathways in your brain. These pathways, with continued use, become stronger, making positive thinking more automatic over time. The key here is consistency. It's not enough to say one positive affirmation and expect a transformation. Just as you wouldn't plant a seed and walk away expecting a tree to grow, you must nurture your self-talk daily. The power of consistency lies in its ability to compound. One positive thought leads to another, and before you know it, you've created a cascade of optimism and self-belief that impacts every area of your life. But let's address the question, why just 3 days? Because short, focused efforts are achievable and often the catalyst for lasting habits. 3 days is enough time to experiment, to commit without feeling overwhelmed, and to experience a glimpse of the potential impact. It's a mental sprint, a chance to immerse yourself in a new way of thinking and see what happens when you fully invest in yourself. During these 3 days, consistency matters more than perfection. It's not about eliminating every negative thought or being relentlessly positive. It's about catching yourself when negativity creeps in and making a conscious choice to reframe it. For example, when you find yourself thinking, "I'll never succeed at this," take a moment to counter it with, "I'm learning and growing every day, even if it feels unnatural at first." Stick with it. The act of consistently challenging negativity is what begins to shift your mindset. This short-term focus also has a psychological advantage: it builds momentum. After 3 days of consistent self-talk, you'll likely notice subtle shifts, not just in how you feel, but in how you approach situations and interact with others. These small wins create motivation to keep going. And as you extend this practice beyond 3 days, the seeds you planted will begin to sprout, leading to deeper transformation. Long-term change doesn't come from grand, sporadic gestures. It comes from small, consistent actions repeated over time. By committing to just 3 days of positive self-talk, you're taking the first step in a journey that can reshape your thoughts, your attitude, and your life. Remember, the seeds you plant today will grow into the reality you live tomorrow. With consistency, even over a short period, you're building a foundation for long-term success. The way you talk to yourself is the foundation of everything you achieve in life. For just 3 days, if you commit to intentional, positive, and empowering self-talk, you will begin to see how your internal dialogue shapes your reality, influences your attitude, and drives your results. By challenging old patterns of negativity and replacing them with words of encouragement and belief, you open the door to new possibilities. This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. These 3 days are your opportunity to plant seeds of confidence, resilience, and growth, seeds that will continue to grow long after this short period of focus. Consistency over a brief time can be the spark that ignites a lifetime of transformation. So speak to yourself as someone worth believing in, worth encouraging, and worth supporting, because you are. Remember, the words you say to yourself today will define the life you live tomorrow. Start now. Start small. And watch the ripple effects unfold.